Conversation with the guys, you know.
Yeah. Just another conversation. All right.
We're coming to you live.
We're coming to you live from Geekdom in San Antonio. Holistic Hustle, episode 2.
Let's get it.
With Coach Jack.
Coach Jack. Coach Danny. Coach Angel.
Let's do a quick intro with the host, and then we'll introduce Jack.
Let's do it.
Go, Angel.
All right. Welcome to Holistic Hustle, episode 2. I'm here with Coach Danny, owner and visionary of Xtend Fitness. And we also have Coach Jack.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Glad you're here. So, Danny, Holistic Hustle, what's it's all about? Just let's do a recap if you didn't hear the first episode, here's a little recap.
Now's a chance to catch up, right? So this podcast is intended for people who are very busy, right? And so it's a way to learn how to start taking care of yourself, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, so you can show up as the very best version of yourself at work and at home.
Yep.
Tell us about yourself, man.
Tell us about me.
Just a little bit. Tell us why you're here. Because obviously I'm like the fitness side, but just a little bit. And then
fitness, mindset, right? So I'm the mindset guy here at Xtend Fitness. My background is in spiritual psychology. And my hope and what I intend to do is what I hope to do is connect the dots for everybody. Like integrate it all. How do you become an integrated, healthy, functioning adult? Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. That's why I'm here. That's what I'm passionate about.
And it requires habits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of habits, Coach Jack, tell us about your own journey in fitness and moving your body and taking care of your physical fitness goals. And tell us about that, how you got started.
You know, for me, how I got started, it's kind of a funny story. I was on my parents' health insurance plan. And, you know, when you're a kid and you're getting off your parents' health insurance plan, I think it's 25, 26?
26, yeah.
26, yeah. When I was like 25, 24, I went to the doctor, you know, to get my annual physical, get all my blood work done so I could just see where I was at, you know, before getting off of it. Kind of taking advantage of that before you get kicked off of your parents' insurance.
Right, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went and I got my physical and I got my blood work because I wanted to know where I was at.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't the most perfect physical. It wasn't the most perfect blood work. However, regardless of all that stuff, that gave me a good starting point. And so I basically just was like, okay, this is where I'm at. And I just went to the gym one day and I never stopped. And it's been 5 years now.
Wow.
That's awesome. So you were kind of pushed to make a change, right?
Yeah.
Only because your circumstances were going to change, right? So, But you still were very proactive. It wasn't like because you were unhealthy.
Yeah, no, yeah,
It wasn't because you had like a health scare or anything like that.
Yeah.
You were just being proactive.
Absolutely.
But
and
how did you have, like, were you always like that? Or like?
I think so. I mean, I was conditioned. I come from a family that is very active. And my peers, the people I surround myself with, are more, you know, they're active. And so if you're not...
environment.
Exactly. If you're not like-minded, if you're not with them, you're gonna fall behind.
Well, I just want to highlight real quick that there's that quote that says, you're the sum total of the 5 people that you surround yourself with.
Mm-hmm.
That is no joke. That is as true as it can be.
Amen.
Did you feel like it was a good environment, or was it like where it was like more like, oh, this is what we do. This is what we do as a family. And
did it feel like a chore?
Like a chore, yeah.
You know, it didn't. And I think it's because the example that was set, you know, and granted, you know, we all look at our lives and we look at our friends and we look at our peers and our family. You can have some that are doing the right things, and you'll have some that are doing, you know, things that they shouldn't be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to kind of internalize and be like, okay, I have 2 paths in front of me. Am I going to choose the path of least resistance in the path that's going to set me up for success in the future, or am I going to choose this path that's going to ultimately lead to, you know, more hardships and trials, right? And so I think like at that pivotal moment in my life, in my mid-20s, I just, I didn't have the nicest gym. I didn't have the best direction. I didn't have the best, you know.
He was lifting paint cans.
Yeah. I mean, basically, I was just utilizing my apartment gym, right? Like,
Whatever
I was
you
going
had.
every day.
Right.
I was just going every day. And then once I kind of started getting into a rhythm of things, it took time. Like, it wasn't like
It never is.
it's just, you start doing these things and then you get in a routine like, oh, this is upper body day. This is lower body day.
Yeah.
This is upper body day. This is lower body day. And then you start getting more tailored, and you get more like, oh, well, I've been working out. Well, now I want to eat better. Now I want to like eat
That
better,
next
work out,
step.
and like try and sleep better. Or maybe I'm being mean to myself. Like, it's all takes time.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
He literally just said that in the first episode.
Really?
He was like, you first start working out, you start getting, looking better, and you start feeling better. You're like, wait a minute, like, I kind of want to eat. Like, you just go one step by, because he calls it that working out or fitness is like the gateway drug to a holistic life.
Yeah, amen.
And you just proved it.
Well, because here's the thing, like, if I am not working out and I'm not eating the way that I should be eating, you really think that, like, I'm just going to wake up one day and, like, just start training perfectly and eating perfectly and, like, doing all these habits that are going to set me up for success all in that one day? I mean, you might. It's more rare than common, but you're probably not.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just starts like a domino. One thing
One domino
leads
at
to
a
the
time.
next, to the next, to the next, and then all
For
of a
that
sudden.
overall self-improvement.
Yeah.
Talk about that thing that you said about, like, the disciplined man has something about, like, the distractions or things that lead to pleasure, or, like, doesn't spend time with short-term.
Yeah.
So,
Let's do
because
it.
that kind of goes to that discipline thing.
And so I'm a firm believer that a disciplined man does not fall for temptation. Or maybe he does, but not as easily, right? So the disciplined man looks at his long-term benefit and the long-term benefit of the people around him. And so that person is less likely to involve themselves in things that harm themselves, that set them back. And so that person also has a shit ton more to lose, And so that's the whole concept of discipline, is you don't get distracted as easily because you have like something greater. You have a greater cause. You have something that you're going towards that you believe in, and that's going to help transform not just your world, but the world, everybody else's world too.
And I feel like those are the two paths that you kind of were looking at. You had to have the discipline to make the choice. Do I sacrifice some perhaps short-term pleasures, some short-term gains perhaps, but that you said they're going to create long-term hardship for you?
Yeah.
Or do I just commit now and start myself on a path that I'm going to get long-term pleasures better than the short-term ones down the road?
And it's the
Yeah.
concept of like what I want to be doing versus what I should be doing, and what's best for me and my family, my loved ones, the people around me.
Facts. And granted, sometimes, we trip. Sometimes we fall.
Oh,
It's
of
part of the
course.
journey. One of my mentors told me
Sometimes we
something.
eat 24 nuggets in one night.
I know, right?
And a Diet Coke.
Or a Coke.
One of
Or a
my
Coke.
20
mentors,
nuggets, no fries,
Oh,
and a Diet Coke.
I know, right? One of my mentors told me this one time, and it was so profound. He was like, hey, you can't stop a bird from landing on your head. Kind of like thoughts, or if we mess up, or whatever the case may be. You can't stop a bird from landing on your head, but you can prevent it from building a nest. And you really think
Sit
about
there.
that. Yeah, like if I'm going to, maybe I'm going to do something, make a choice that's going to impact me negatively. That thought comes in. Like, you can't stop thoughts from coming in, but you can train yourself to be prepared for when they do come in.
Right.
Thoughts come in, maybe you act on them, maybe sometimes you act on them, sometimes you don't act on them. But it's up to us, it's up to you as an individual to be able to be like, okay, I need to rationalize and be like, every day is a new day. I got to constantly choose to be doing the things that I should be doing.
That you're really good about that, and just like our conversations, like you're really good about identifying like that kind of negative thought, and almost journaling about it, reflecting on it, or just like saying, okay, this is what I thought. Is this crazy?
Yeah.
Almost like saying it out loud, and then just discussing it either with yourself or somebody else, right? And then being like, okay,
Yeah.
there it is. It's gone.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Move past it.
Move past it. He's so
Right.
good about that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you guys are coaches. Can y'all kind of talk a little bit about like the importance of the fitness component, or the physical component of this holistic life? Like, why is that important? Hold on.
Just, I mean, like, if you have a bunch of things, like, let me paint a picture for you guys.
Paint it.
Let's say, you know,
Where's that brush?
you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, you're a engineer, you're a sales rep, you're a mother, father, you're a brother, you're a teacher, whatever it is. Those things that you do in your day-to-day, I doubt that a lot of those things are as hard as 3 sets of 10 burpees. I doubt that it's, like, I mean, physically challenging
Right.
as like 30 push-ups every day, like at 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or after a long day, mentally, emotionally, you know, mountain climbers, bag tosses, bench press, squat reps, over 200 pounds. I'm talking about physically, not mentally.
Right. But there's
So-
still a mental component in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's like building mental resilience through physical fitness.
Physical fitness.
Absolutely.
Doing something really shitty and everything else.
Burning like
In
250
comparison-
calories, 300 calories in like 30 minutes. Those are hard things to do. And so if you can do these things, like if it's a Tuesday and you do a nice hard workout, think about what that does for the rest of your day. You just started your day off doing the hardest thing you're going to do physically all day. That makes meeting with people, talking to people, going through emails,
A
meetings,
challenge at work.
so much easier, right? It just makes
Right.
it come off so much easier. And so once you go through that, you'll start to internalize that and you'll start to see that, and it's just
I love that.
Dude, that is
what
on point.
what it can do for a person.
And then doing something really hard, like a
Yeah.
really hard workout.
Yeah,
It sets, like you said, it sets the tone for the rest of the day.
yeah,
But like the workout on itself is hard.
yeah.
But what about that kind of like mental dialogue of you of leading up to the workout, right?
Yeah.
If it's like whether it's like in the morning, lunchtime, evening, there's like a 30-minute little self dialogue
Yeah.
where you're like trying to find excuses to like
To get
not
out of it.
go,
Yeah.
right? And then, but if you have momentum and you have a really good why, and you remind yourself why the fuck you're doing that in the first place,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's so much easier. Like one of the easiest things I do to help motivate me is I look at a picture of my son. I have a ton of pictures and videos, but I just think,
Yeah.
would this little munchkin be proud of me? Like when I tell him fast forward from now when he
Bro,
starts
that's
understanding,
deep.
he's like he'll start to notice down the line. But if people tell him and mom tells him, daddy wakes up at 4 a.m., he works out so he can be the best version of himself, and so he can show up and be back on time to take care of your crazy ass.
Yeah.
Like that to me,
That's huge,
that
bro.
to me is my motivator. I look at a picture of my son, a video of my son, and I just think like, it's not the workout, it's the mental strength that it requires to get it done.
To show up.
To show
Absolutely.
up.
Amen. That's how I look at my parents. They
Mhm.
set the example for me.
Mhm.
Both my parents, my father, my step-parents, my mother, they're
Mhm.
all extremely active. They set that example for the next generation.
You're improving.
But that's the thing too. So it's like, let's say, you're struggling to, you're trying to get right with your nutrition. You're trying to get right in the gym. You're working out. Let's say you've been working out for a couple months, but the nutrition is still catching up.
Yeah, struggling a little bit.
You're going to the gym, you're forming good habits, and you're not seeing the results you want. I guarantee you there's going to be a light that's going to switch in your brain. It's like, okay, I'm working out, I'm not seeing the results I want. I have to change the way I eat.
And it's
going
on
to have
you.
that chain reaction. That chain reaction is going to happen.
Mhm. But I tell you what, like I feel like as coaches, like I'm pretty disciplined and I'm very determined and I can get shit done. But I'm gonna tell you when it comes to the fitness, because I told Danny in the first episode that the fitness came later. Like for Danny, fitness came first, and then mindset and emotional and spiritual came later. For
Mhm.
me, spiritual, emotional, and mindset came first, and then the fitness came later. So it's real easy for me to just kind of like, I won't do it today.
Yeah.
Mm.
But if I have a coach, like that's what I'm talking about, the value of having a coach.
That's waiting for you.
That's waiting for you. Like you don't want to let that person down,
Yeah.
right? That person's going to hold you accountable. That person's going to like push you. Like we were filming an episode and I did one less rep and he was like, nope. You did one less rep. I was like, okay, fine. So like
Yeah.
he won't let me fail. So the value of a coach, I get it. There's a lot of people that can do it on their own, but everybody needs a coach in some way, shape, or form.
Coaches need coaches too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
It's good to have, someone to help push you a little bit,
Right.
push you outside your comfort zone. This is kind of a little cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of your comfort zone, you
I like cheese.
right?
Mhm.
Unless you're lactose.
You still eat cheese though.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
So I'll
it's
still do it.
it's worth it.
That's what a lactate pill's for, right?
It's worth it.
1, 2,
It's
maybe
worth the
3, depending
pain.
how much.
I'll be back.
Right.
Yeah, I'll
In
be
an
right
hour.
back. Yeah.
But that's what happens. Once we step out of our comfort zone, we enter the miracle zone.
Mm.
Oh,
you
that
need
was
to- you
solid.
need to say that again.
Oh,
You need to say- oh, that was
yeah.
so
yeah.
good. Damn it. Where's the camera?
Once
Yeah.
you step out of that comfort
Okay.
zone.
3,
Start it.
2, 1.
Once you step out of that comfort zone, you enter the miracle zone. You really do.
What's the miracle zone?
It's just endless possibilities of things you never could imagine that could happen to you.
And how hard is it to get out of the comfort zone?
It's hard to push yourself to get to that point, but once you take that first step and you realize, it wasn't that hard. You get that momentum and you start building on it.
We usually make it harder than in our minds than what it actually is.
We are our own worst
Right.
enemy.
And what people don't know, I love that. And I always say enemy with like me, like enemy.
Yeah.
It's me.
Mm-hmm.
But what people don't realize is that when you leave your comfort zone, you don't leave it behind. It comes with you.
Yeah.
Like all you're doing is expanding your comfort zone because you're adding new things to it that eventually are going to be part of your comfort zone today.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have to do it again. And then
Yeah.
you're going to have to do it again. And then you have to do it again. But then if you already build a habit and you're like, oh, I know what this is like. I've done it before. No big deal. No big whoop. It's going to be hard. I'm going to struggle a little bit.
Business as usual.
Yep.
Business as usual.
That was
So
that was good.
So Jack, this is called Holistic Hustle for a reason because it's, again, holistic life. You're a fitness coach, but what else do you do in the realm of, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health? Because like I was telling in the first episode, you could hit the fitness, you can hit the nutrition, but if you're not taking care of the other three, you're still unhealthy.
True.
So what do you do? What's that like for you?
Well, for me, I have my fitness routine. I have my spiritual routine. You know what I'm saying? What you were talking about, mindset. That's huge because look at ourselves in the mirror. We have our exterior. We have our body.
Mhm.
We got to take care of our body physically,
Mhm.
but we also have our soul, our
Spiritual.
spirit. We got to
Mhm.
take care of our mind, our
Mhm.
brain. And when you're doing these activities, like for me, I like to read. Just like a little hobby. I like to read, sharpen the mind. I like to meditate. I'm very spiritual. I'm very into my faith
Mhm.
and in nurturing that. I think that's important.
It totally is.
And they all go hand in hand. They just propel you into this person that.
They go hand in hand, but they each require their own way of nurturing it
Yeah.
and strengthening it and
Yeah.
taking care of it, but they definitely go hand in hand.
You have to approach it. You have to approach all of these things like you approach the gym. You gotta have like a format. You can't just read one day for like an hour and be like,
Nope.
okay, I'm
Nope.
good for a month.
Done.
Mm-hmm.
We don't just train one day out of the month.
No, you don't.
We don't just do one workout a month and expect to be good. Like, you have to treat everything the same.
Get your reps in.
You gotta get your reps
Build
in.
your mental, emotional, spiritual muscle.
And that goes back to what you're saying and what you
Mhm.
said a minute ago. It's that domino effect.
Yeah.
You start at the gym, you start at the workout, and then, boom, gateway drug.
Yeah.
Now you're taking care of your nutrition. Now you're reading. Now you're meditating. Now you're maybe looking into your faith. What's your relationship to what is this
Yeah.
thing that I call God?
Yeah.
What is that for me? Right?
What is this? What is the purpose of your existence?
Why am I here? How do I
Yeah.
contribute?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, think about that for a second. We go to the gym how many times a month and train the same muscles over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Are we doing that for our mind? Like, are we constantly, or are we just doing it one time a month, or one
Yeah.
time a quarter,
It's the same thing.
or every Sunday? Like, even every Sunday at church, we don't just work out one day out of
No.
the week.
No.
No.
Every single day we try to.
We do something
Something. Or else you're going to feel like what?
like crap.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah.
That was so good.
But then that's the thing. You can just start whenever. You can start training whenever.
It's never too late.
You don't need a fancy gym. You don't need to have all these fancy gadgets. You don't need to have the best shoes. Just go break a sweat.
But those are back to what we were saying. Those are the excuses.
Yeah.
You know, like there's all kinds of why I can't do it.
Dude, we had someone at our gym who forgot his workout clothes, and so he left his clothes at home, and he comes in, knocks
Yeah.
in the gym, and is like, I forgot my workout clothes. Do you have an extra shirt? I'm willing to buy it. I just don't want to miss today.
Yep.
And I've talked to the same guy, and it's not about the workout. It's about how it helps him feel better. He's like, it calms my mind, and when I get home, I am a much better husband and a much better dad.
Yeah.
He's like, life's not easy, but if I just do this one thing, I'll be in much better shape.
Love that.
Not just physical fitness shape, but like overall.
I love that.
That's
Yeah.
discipline and commitment right there.
One thing that's tough for individuals and for myself, sometimes time, because we are juggling so many things.
I call that competing commitments.
Yeah.
And we have to almost like acknowledge that
Yeah.
when it comes to our clients. And like when they speak it out, we can work with that.
Yeah. Sometimes, like just Monday through Friday, like the time can be tough, and it's just like, hey, look at your life. What is most important?
Mm-hmm. What are you willing to do, and what are you willing to let go?
Yeah.
That's it.
To get to the version of you that you're wanting to work towards.
Yeah.
So to wrap things up, what advice would you give someone who has maybe tried working out before taking care of their health, and like they're struggling? What would you tell them?
That's a good question. I had a mentor. He gave me some of the best advice I think I've ever been given. Consistency compounds. You don't have to be perfect. Just don't stop. Your workout doesn't have to be perfect. Just don't stop. Just keep doing it. Just go out there one day, start, and just
Don't stop.
Do a little
Stop.
something.
Keep showing up.
Just keep showing
Keep
up.
showing up.
Because the
keep
moment
showing
you
up.
stop,
You're done.
it's done.
That was awesome.
That's all you need to do is consistency compounds.
Thanks for being here, brother.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
So good.
That was awesome.
Right?
Yeah, that was
great.
really good.
Right on.